Samita. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about authentically cultivating inner value and acknowledging insecurities. Now, what I mean by cultivating inner value, it is value that is independent of external hierarchies, independent of status or position of power, or what we own, how much money we have, where we live, who we know. Independent of these things, what do you derive your confidence and value from really shapes who you are as a person, because life is filled with ups and downs, and you're not always going to be in positions that you want to be in. You're not always going to be on top. You're going to have to see rock bottoms, and you're going to have to experience people who don't like you, cannot respect you. You're going to have to come across a lot of things that you don't want for yourself, and in those moments, how do you retain self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, confidence? I'm going to be exploring 3 ways to cultivate this self-worth, self-value beyond external factors. Number 1 would be compassion for your past self. Now, your past self is younger than you. Your past self is a baby compared to who you are right now. And that could be like a month ago from now, or a year ago from now, or 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We have a tendency to look back at when we had lesser wisdom, knowledge, understanding, back to the phase before life put us through things that changed us, helped us grow, gave us a lot of information about ourselves, about the world, and cringe at ourselves. I've been guilty of doing this. I've cringed at my past self, and I'm sure a lot of us have. We look back at phases of our lives where we were young, dumb, innocent, stupid, goofy, etc., and we look at the people we've become today, and then we compare our past selves with who we are today, and we're like, oh my god, I was XYZ, I was so XYZ. Here's the thing though, you wouldn't be who you are today if past you hadn't done, said, been the things that you've done, said, and been. So you owe your past self and your past journey, because you wouldn't be here the way you are without that person. It's really common to look back at who we used to be and feel a sense of distaste or displeasure or embarrassment, but we were young, we were still learning. There were a lot of things that we didn't know, and different people have different strengths growing up, right? We're all different people with different backgrounds, different stories that shaped us and our minds. So what really helps you bring about more compassion for your journey, for your past self, instead of judging that girl or guy, is think about what you were going through at that phase of life. Think about what life was trying to teach you, and think about what your strengths were and what your weaknesses were. Assess the thing that you're cringing at, and then assess the thing that isn't cringeworthy. It's something that you look back on like, huh, I was really good at math at that age. Perhaps you're measuring being socially awkward with being very smart in class. Think about yourself from a broader perspective and have a lot of love and compassion for your past self, because you cannot have acceptance for who you are just today. Your acceptance needs to extend to your inner child and your journey and all of you, which includes past, present, and future. Yes, we are different, we are new every day, we are not the same, but we owe it to ourselves to not hate on any part of us, including our past selves. So laugh at the little things that you deem cringeworthy. Laugh at the little things that you deem not where you want it to be. It's very easy to get into a comparison game when you look at someone else at the age of 10 being like super good with something like people skills, and then you think about yourself when you were 10 and you're like, oh my gosh, like, and the mind starts to compare. Maybe, for example, it happens sometimes. Your ego is like, oh my god, I wish I was this smart at that age. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, pluses and minuses. Everybody does. We feel like we lacked might be abundant in somebody else. We might aspire to that, and we still can aspire to that. Our past selves not having that need not reflect on us not being able to do something, or need not reflect on our self-worth, or need not result in us believing that we cannot do something. It's never too late to do something that you once did not know how to do. It's just about doing. At the end of the day, you'll discover that most of life is just about, okay, I couldn't do it then, but I want to do it, so I do it. There's nothing stopping you. If your past is a source of discomfort, look into that. Look into why that is. Make friends with your past. Make friends with the parts of you that you don't resonate with in the present. I will give you an example from my personal life. I had a very weird, quirky fashion sense. Like, I was not street smart with fashion. I did not know what's trending, what's not. I did not know what looks good with what. I used to always wear the wackiest outfits, like a tutu skirt with a denim jacket at the age of 16, 17. Sometimes it used to work. I used to pull off some sort of statement, but sometimes it used to be like, what am I wearing? I had zero fashion sense, but also what I loved about that phase was the close connections I made didn't care about something that is such an external measure of value and worth in the external world. Subconsciously, I think I did it on purpose because I did this with a lot of other things, not just fashion. Um, I could be my quirky, real, authentic self growing up, and I always paid attention to who was judging me and who was accepting me and who was more open-hearted in that way. And I feel like that was a filter, that was my little filter to kind of make connections that were more authentic, that weren't about what can you bring to the table for me, but were more about like, I love your energy and I vibe with it, so I'm gonna stick around no matter what you wear, no matter what you do. I think that was very important to me growing up. I really liked being ridiculed for my fashion choices. It became like dinner table talk, like, what are you wearing? Like, it became a source of ridicule and laughter and became something that people bonded over, and that was something that I was really happy with. I was like, okay, I don't need to put much thought into what I wear. I can just go with the flow. In this way, I feel like the connections that I built valued me solely for my energy and my personality more than things that we tend to measure ourselves by in the external world, sometimes the materialistic world. Like, my presence mattered more than my appearance, if that makes sense. Though now that's changed, of course, because you need to adapt and change with time. And I've learned the importance of the statements that dressing right and fashion can make, especially in the past couple of years. And it's been a beautiful journey discovering what that means for me, how I play around with my sense of style and what that means for how I represent my energy or come off as. Fashion is such a powerful tool. It is something so um, transformative, and I've learned to respect it more and be more aware of, how it contributes to our lives, our connections, business, etc., etc. But also, I do not let it on a deep level determine my worth, solely because I didn't start off from that place in the first place. So being more fashion woke in the present, I look back at some of the things I've worn and I'm like, what was going through my head? And I judge that part of me. Like, did you not watch people the way they dress? The internet was still alive when I was that young. Did you not like look up on how to dress? Like, how did you not know that? But also at the same time, I look back at being that quirky kid that somehow made really authentic connections. And I was like, okay, something really, really good came out of that. And I really knew what it was like to be accepted for being myself beyond what I wore. So as much as I respect and I'm figuring out my journey with style and fashion and learning its importance more and more today, I'm also really happy that I had a phase where I really didn't have to worry about these things and I could live out that phase carefree. Bottom line is, compassion for your younger self and acceptance of who you used to be is crucial to help yourself have a stronger sense of value with yourself and inner self, because the person you are today didn't just come out of thin air. You created this person. This person was on a journey before you could get to where you are today. So every part of you deserves your acceptance. This video is all over the place. I'm sorry. But coming to my second point, reparenting the inner child. Now, until this year, I wasn't aware of how important it is to know what our attachment styles are, because our attachment styles play into our relationships, our friendships, our work relationships, our career, everything. There's not that much of a difference between shadow work and reparenting your inner child, but there is a significant difference at the same time. It's essentially confronting parts of yourself that needs to be healed and needs to be regulated and understood by you more than anybody else. There's a lot of unwiring and rewiring to do. Reparenting your inner child can really transform your life. For example, not knowing how to self-soothe when you have overwhelming emotions is something that you didn't learn how to do growing up because of how situations were or circumstances were in your life. You did not know how to regulate your emotions on your own. Perhaps you always had someone who was there to help you regulate your emotions, like a parental figure. So as an adult, you always look to other people to help you regulate your emotions. You always are waiting for someone else to tell you how to feel better or what you're feeling, or to give you a hug or a solution. As an adult, learning how to self-soothe and take accountability for your emotions and process them in healthy ways on your own is something that is a superpower, and it gives you a lot of confidence in yourself, your ability to handle situations and handle anything that comes your way. Essentially, you have to look at the areas where you are holding a crutch in life, and growing up you were used to holding that crutch, but it's time for you to let go of that crutch and learn how to walk without it, because you're capable, very much capable of doing so. So reparenting your inner child can really give us abilities that we didn't know that we had. It can really give us facets of ourselves that we think are non-existent, or we think that are long gone. It is important to reparent ourselves, basically teach ourselves things that we don't know, and know that it's okay to not know these things. Know that it's very normal for us to have parts of ourselves that, didn't grow up after childhood. Everyone has that. Everyone has an inner child with unmet needs or misunderstood behaviors or tendencies. And a lot of times as an adult, we can struggle to understand them. There are a lot of blind spots when it comes to our attachment styles and our subconscious mind with respect to our inner children, and things that stem from our inner child in behavioral patterns can be misconstrued and misunderstood by other people, and we don't want that. We want our inner child and its tantrums to have compassion and to have understanding, and the only people who can give that to ourselves is us. Maybe by extension, people really, really close to you, but that's it. So reparenting your inner child is a skill that is a must-have. Awareness is powerful because it allows us to step out of our trauma triggers and our patterns and observe ourselves and ask ourselves what we need. Merely having the awareness of where our inner child isn't healed yet, or what parts of ourselves need work, or what our attachment style is, what do we need when we're not feeling okay, how do we regulate our emotions and ourselves, what works with us, what doesn't. Having awareness of these things is powerful, because once you know and you have that awareness, it's like you've made it to the other side. It's like, honestly, once you learn about your attachment style, it's like your life after knowing about it and your life before, and you can see the difference. So do learn about attachment styles in order to have like a more solid relationship with yourself, because it changes your life. Knowledge is powerful. I'm gonna end with that. Third point, pick what you attach your confidence and value to. Don't pick hierarchies to measure yourself by. Don't attach your confidence and value to your engagement on social media, or how much money you have, or how many people follow you, or what you own, or what you wear. Do not attach your value and confidence to materialistic things. This is a sure shot way of being miserable, because life always puts us through peaks and pitfalls, and if you cannot feel confident in yourself and your abilities during your pitfalls, when you have nothing, when you have less than what you used to have, or when you have less than somebody else, which you always will. There's always going to be someone who has more than you in any given area, and there's always going to be someone who has less than you in any given area. So do not attach your confidence to these things that are fleeting, these things that are not permanent. These are temporary, ever-changing things. Even in astrology, we learned that different planetary combinations give rise to different peaks in success and different pitfalls with respect to career. Everyone has different ups and downs. In some astrological charts, you see that the only time a person is going to start picking up in his or her career is in his mid-30s. In another chart, you see that someone is destined for success in their teenage years and when they turn 18. In another chart, you see that the peak of someone's career starts at 26. This topic has the potential to digress into several other topics, like what success means, how we should measure success, etc., etc., but we'll get into that another day. Above everything, what you need to know is, if you're here, you've been given a purpose by the divine, by the universe. You're here to do something, and you do not need to be rich or famous or influential, etc., etc., to do things. In a lot of yogic scriptures, they talk about seva, which means service. It is a formula for happiness, and success is measured through your ability to serve, using your skills to be of use to somebody else. Giving, serving people can come in so many different ways, can take so many different forms, and you do not need to be someone huge or big to make an impact, to create a difference. And service is the formula for joy and happiness. It is only through service that we are able to truly come into the interdependence of existence and feel flower as individuals and people. And our ability to serve is what we should root our confidence in. Like, okay, I'm alive, I have hands, I'm able to help people in any way that I can. A lot of spiritual destinations or ashrams, for example, are designed to give people more and more opportunities for seva, for service, like huge kitchens that you can go volunteer to cut vegetables in for meals of hundreds of thousands of people, or you can sweep meditation halls, or you can help the social media team reach more people in need of spirituality, etc., etc. They literally give you what you need in order to be a more happy and fulfilled person, which are opportunities to serve people, to be here for other people, to do good for the world. Service is the strongest bringer of happiness and purpose. When we are of use to people, when we are useful to people, that is when we are the most happy and the most fulfilled and in our element. That's when we feel most connected to ourselves. You can cultivate such strong inner value and such a beautiful sense of self by serving other people. That's the beauty of interdependence, and that is something that is the formula to have a more strong centered sense of self. If you are just sitting whiling away your time thinking about, oh, what about me, my career, my dream, what I want, who can help me, what's in it for me, I, it's the surest way to incur more misery, and it's a sure shot way to lose your confidence. It's a sure shot way to not feel like yourself and to lose your sense of fulfillment. It does not help your self-esteem and your growth in every avenue. So always look to see how you can help others in whatever way that is. Even if it's just making someone feel better about themselves, uplifting people is what makes us happy. Only miserable people make others feel miserable. When you spread happiness, you become happiness. This particular video was a challenging one solely because there are so many subtopics that I would have loved to digress into, and I'm sure I will get the time to do so. But here's where I'm gonna stop the video. I hope you like this one. This is a little chaotic. I'm sorry for the position changing. It's just my phone was giving me a hard time today. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, etc., etc. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!